Hi everyone, it's Michelle Lloyd here, founder of United Art Space. How are you all? Happy Friday. So inside the hub, we usually get together on a Friday at this time on a Zoom and we all sit and make art together. And so as it's Your Art Matters week, I suggested this week that we would do it as a session like this. And so we'll have lots of people joining us and we're just going to make some art and chat. So I want to welcome you to Deb, Marita, Aviva, Stacey and Hannah. They are members inside the hub. And we'll go around in a second and they'll just tell you a little bit about themselves and what art they make. And if you want to ask us any questions, you are very welcome. We'll also be hearing from Deb on a sketchbook project that's going on inside the hub, which is very exciting. So let me just make sure that yeah, people are tuning in. I was just a bit concerned. Hello, Judith, because usually there's comments coming in. Hello. Right then. Okay, so let's start with Deb. I'm just going to take you off mute, Deb. So everyone's hopping on and saying hello, welcome. So Deb, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So I'm just going to explain a little bit about what you've organised inside the hub, and then I'll hand over to you to just share a little bit about yourself and your journey. But Deb has been a member for a few months and came into the group and organised a sketchbook project with a mini subgroup of members, and we're going to hear about that project in a minute because it's quite incredible. It's people all contributing towards one big sketchbook, and we have an artist, Jenny Stevenson, inside the group who creates these books as her art practice. So I just want to thank you for doing that, because it's really, I've had so many messages from people saying how it's helped their confidence, how they feel more connected, and it's kind of helping people process as well. So thanks, Deb. So if you could tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your art, and then we'll hear about the project.
Hi, morning everybody. I'm super excited to be here, a little bit nervous. I don't normally do things like this. I usually hide behind the camera, Michelle, funny noises and things, so it's first for me to be on camera. My name's Deb.
Deb, you just need to move your camera just a little bit because you've gone out of the screen. That's it. Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. It's all right.
So my name's Deb. I've drawn all my life, really. My birth father was a commercial artist, so you could say I kind of picked up the skill from him, really. I joined the hub for a number of reasons. A couple of years ago, I had quite a serious accident, and it was a life-changing event. It made me really question who I was, where I was going, what it was all about. How did I fit into the greater picture of things? And because I didn't know each day whether I was going to wake up, I went to bed. I had to change my mindset. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to join the hub, because mindset was so important to me at that time. And I could really see how mindset would really help me to develop as an artist. Yeah. So I'd go to bed thinking, well, if I wake up tomorrow, then it's a blessing. Oh, wow. So, and that's the way I took the path of joy. Yeah. I decided that each day was going to be joyful, that I was going to love each day, and I was just going to get the most out of it that I could. So what that did was it just opened up an expansion of feeling. My heart felt like it opened up. I felt like I wanted to just interact and be connected to everybody. And I could see how we were all connected. So that turned out to be my why, Michelle. When I started the 7 ingredients, I realized that was my why. My why was connection. I felt deeply, and I wanted that deep connection with other people and with through the medium of art. Yeah. So having that aha moment was quite humbling, because I thought, actually, I know I can do this now. I know that I can connect with people. I know I can make art that will, hopefully, people will have that connection with it too. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought, okay, where do I go from here? I'm trying to work my way through the keys, thinking, what's the next step? And I realised that I needed to surrender. I needed to hand over and believe that, you know, these things would come to me, because I used to be, prior to the accident, used to be a bit of a control freak. I used to have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. I used to get very anxious if it didn't pan out the way I thought it should. So to go from one extreme to the other was quite a revelation. So I handed it over to the universe. I just said, if you really want me to connect, then you show me how you want me to do this, and I'll walk that path, and I'll do it with joy in my heart. You know, so that was my intent. Sounds cheesy, but it's true.
No, can I just ask how long ago was the accident? I put things in timelines in my head.
It was 2 years ago, and it was a works accident, and I ended up with a very large clot in my leg. So it was. I called it. I gave it a name because it was like a snake, so it was quite a long clot, quite a serious clot. So when you come to those points, the universe will show you. It either brings you to your knees, or it gives you the signposts, and eventually you pay attention. So that woke me up and set me on this path. So I'm in the hub, I'm following the ingredients, I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to connect? Everything's shut down. Can't do anything, can't get a hold of anybody. How am I going to make this work for me? So I put this idea out thinking, well, maybe a couple of people will connect with me. So I thought 4 or 5, that'll be great. You know, we can work on this together. We can do this sketchbook. I'm known as the traveling artist on my Facebook page, but of course I couldn't travel. So it made sense to me to get the art to travel. And I thought, well, okay, you know, we might get a few people up and down the country. 44 people from around the world in the hub got involved. And not only did it blow my brains out, but my heart just expanded so much. I thought, oh my goodness me.
And I've got to say a big thank you for that, because I think I did sense that, you know, it was just like, let's just get a few people together, and it's become this big, massive project, hasn't it?
Who'd have thought? And but I'll tell you something, it's been one of the best experiences of my life. So it's been wonderful. I've got to look at my notes because I'm going to forget what I'm going to say otherwise.
No, don't worry, go for it. I'm the same. I've always got a note thing by the side of me.
So I thought, right, okay, we can do this sketchbook. We're all connected. So my core belief is that we're all connected. In this expansion, this experience I had, it was like there was a golden thread that connected us all. And I felt like we were all part of one, you know? So, and I'm not a religious person, I'm quite a spiritual person, but I thought, okay, let's use this connection. So because journey was such a pivotal word, I felt that the art's going to journey, the art's going to travel. Let's use journey as the theme. And we were locked down, and people's emotions and mental health was changing. I'm still practicing as a mental health nurse, so I'm still nursing even though we've been through lockdown. And I could see that people needed a connection and needed an outlet. So this just dovetailed really well. So we used the theme of journey, journey through lockdown. And it was to help people reflect on how they felt, give them a creative, safe space, just make them feel that they're contributing, that they have that connection, and hopefully just have utter joy in making. So that was my intent. So before I asked, I sent the intent out. Okay, let's just, for the highest good of everybody, how can it help myself? How can it help my family? How can it help everybody else? So that was sacred prayer I sent out, I suppose you could say. So we there were no boundaries to this, no restrictions, no shoulds, no shouldn'ts. It was just a pure case of let's have fun, let's have joy, let's create. We need to think about the size of it. So we plumped for an A4 size, and it was in any medium. So whatever made your heart sing, you would use that to create. And that was it. People were asking me, do we do this? Do we that? No, you just enjoy yourself. Just really have fun. Just give it a go. And let's just see where it evolves, because this sketchbook has become an entity, an energy of its own, and everybody's added to this energy, and it's just, this is what's made it so beautiful, and this is what's made it so special, because everybody's approached it with that intent of having joy and expression and seeing where it goes. So that was where we were at with it. We quickly realized 44 pages weren't going to cut it as a sketchbook moving. So we decided that everybody would send the page to me. And then the fabulous Jenny Stevenson, who's in the group, offered to put it together as a sketchbook, as well as contributing to it. So we've had other hub members that have been supporting each other, private messaging. We've had other people that have been putting words of support on the group. We've had feedback. We've had suggestions. And it's just been evolving. It might have been my idea in the beginning, but I don't own this. Everybody has had an input into this. I've just kind of been the person that's been daft enough to keep jumping on video and singing to them all and showing them funny pictures and me and my dog duetting, things like that, really.
You remind me of me in setting the hub up, actually, that I feel like that it's about you guys, you know, it's not just about me, you know, the hub is about all of us, isn't it? I was talking to Marita about this, and that's kind of like what you've created there with the sketchbook. It's like self-fulfilling and grows into everyone contributing and coming together, and that it's just
I can't wait to show you. Yeah, I just can't wait to show you the work. I mean, the statements, we asked for a kind of bio statement to come with it, and the reason behind that, quickly twigged that this is going to be great on social media. It's going to be great for opening doors for people. It's going to maybe help people to develop different styles. I mean, I know for me, my work has completely gone to a completely different style just by making that step forward. So we realized that we're going to have to scan the pages. We might have to even crowdfund to make a book, you know, to make books so we've all got something to treasure. Yeah. We need to have a really strong presence on social media. So all the keys that you've given us are there. It's just about managing to fit them in now so that we can come with this complete package, hopefully in November. That's when we're hoping to go live with it. And then just share that and just share that joy of it. When you see the work, it's going to blow you away. I don't know how many videos I've made where I've nearly cried. It's just been amazing to watch and experience. So what else is there to tell you? Oh yeah, so because of that, I'm super excited. Another project has started. So so now we've got we're thinking about maybe tying in with World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October and doing something that can help promote the hub, help promote mental health, help promote well-being, help promote the creative arts, give permission for people to just feel joyful. You know, we've gone through an adverse situation, but we can find the joy within it. So that's my take on it, and that's where we're at. We're looking at exhibitions. People have been interviewed for magazines already. We've got radio people asking to want to talk about the project. It's just unbelievable. I just
it's amazing. And oh gosh, there's so many things I could say out of this conversation. But one of them is this power of collaboration, isn't it? It's the power of coming together as a community and the power of people coming together. And like Sharon and Wayne were mentioning earlier in the week, their collaboration has just brought so much more out of themselves. And their project as well is gaining more momentum because there's two of them. And I think you're right, as a group, and it becomes this it's more than what the sketchbook is. It's becoming the effect it's having on all of you, but the effect it's having on us. I mean, I'm just sat here now and people are just saying that they're all crying listening here now, Deb, and everyone is so moved. And this is the power of art. This is why your art matters. And I love how you freed everyone to just like, I really admire the way you've run this, Deb, because what you've done is you've pulled everyone together, and you've got some kind of order as there's a thread that unites it all, which is very clever because there's something that brings it together, like we teach in the 7 keys, and that's really important. But they've also got the freedom to just be their creative selves. And I love how you've managed that. That's a credit to you, Deb. It really is. And I feel like we need to create an hashtag for this project now and start sharing little snippets through our page. And I love the idea of doing something for World Mental Health Day. So I think we'll have a chat after this and we'll start to think about what we can do, because I would love to be part of that. Yeah. So yeah, this is amazing. So how many people did you say are involved? Is it 40, 42?
Started off with 44. I'm just taking you off the stand so I can show you some of the work in a minute. We started off with 44. We've had a few people that have walked a part of the journey with us, maybe not all of the way. Sorry. Ooh. Still. So, and that's okay, because that's how far they've come in their journey. You know, it doesn't matter whether you reach to the end point or not. Everybody's learned something along the way. So yeah, 44. I thought like I said, I thought we were only gonna get about 4 or 6, but roughly 44. I'd say probably. I've still got artwork coming in. I've still got artwork coming from South Africa still, and some from America. But so far, well, let me just show you. Hang on. Can you see it okay?
Yep. It's a let me just see if I can just put you on speaker view for 1 second so that we can just see. Okay. How do I do this? Just give me 1 second to figure out how I do this, because I'm sure. Okay. Yeah, we can see now. Yeah. Okay. So if I'll turn the camera away from me so that you can see. Sorry, I'm not very tech savvy. Okay. I mean, if and these are artworks that people have sent in from around the world to you. Yeah, this is artwork. This is mixed media. So this is fabric. Yeah. And we've got I mean, this is Heidi's. The colours are absolutely amazing in that. Look, just look at the thread and oh my goodness me. Collins, a beautiful piece written with Colin. Colin's statement is amazing. We've got Anita's. That's Anita and Diana. A shout out to you two radicals. They'll know what I mean when I say that. We've got Julie. Her connection thing at the top brought me to tears. My goodness me, one very special lady. I said to her, have you done any writing? Because, you know, her work was just amazing. Katrina's. Yeah. Wow. I mean, the eye. Wow, look at that. You know, the gloss on the eye. Jenny's, look at Jenny's. Wow. Incredible. Oh, it's paused. Sorry, Deb, it's paused. I don't know. Honeys and Andrea. Yeah, I don't know if it happened for everyone else, but it kind of skipped a bit then for me. I don't know. It might be my Wi-Fi here. And this is 3D. I don't know if you can see the 3D parts to it. Some woman called Deb Jones. Don't know who she is. You still there? Yes. Yeah. Kelly's. I think Francisca's was the first, actually. I apologise. Yeah, Francisca's was the first to come. Wow. Donna's statement was moving. Absolutely. I haven't put it on there, but my goodness me, it brought me to tears. And we've still got work coming. And the postman this morning just said, I'm going to move in case it's my Wi-Fi. Keep going. I'm not sure if it's my Wi-Fi or Deb's Wi-Fi, but this, it's sticking. See if that helps. Because I'm up in the... No, it's still stuck. Yeah. down here. Okay, I think it's Deb's Wi-Fi. I wasn't sure whether it was mine because when I'm up on the top floor, sometimes it's a little bit patchy up there. So, what a shame, because I was loving seeing all of that work. Okay, we might have lost Deb for a minute. But wow, I feel really overwhelmed by seeing that project and seeing everything that's been going on. Because I've known inside the hub it's been going on, but it's they've got their own little separate group, and so inspired by that. Yeah, Wendy's saying, Les, I love what you're working on. So let's move around to the others whilst we wait for Deb to come back, and then we can have a little chat with Deb again. But I just think that, yeah, there's so many snippets of gold coming from these sessions this week. And one of these is, collaboration and coming together. It can just open up so many doors. And she's back.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I thought it was my Wi-Fi, so I came downstairs.
I think it was me. Yeah.
It's okay. I think that I think we need to create an hashtag for this project, and we'll start sharing on our stories so people can follow the journey, and then we can follow this to its conception. So it's in November. You're going to release the final book. Is that right? Yeah.
I'm hoping. I think it would be lovely if we could get some sort of exhibition before it's released. So it's about seeing, because we're at that phase where we're just casting the net to see who's interested, really. So there's a couple of art museums around here I've been in touch with, and some papers and newspapers. I was even going to be a bit cheeky and get in touch with maybe television places.
Do it.
So
yes.
But I need some help with that. So I've got some media people on board already. We've got some in the hub who are going to help us with that. So we're putting together a media statement and things like that. So yeah, it'd be great if we could do it for November.
Yeah, and I think you're right in that we need this right now, and it's such an amazing story, just the way that everyone's come together, but also this thread that unites the work, and the way that you've executed it is lovely. It's such a nice message. And I was just thinking how, the 7 keys, we think about the 7 keys in relation to our own journey, but we can use the 7 keys for just little projects like this. Yeah. It's applicable to everything. You just put the project through the 7 keys.
Yeah.
And it's almost creating like a business plan or a marketing plan for it. So I love the way that you've been adapting that to fit this project as well, Deb. And there'll be so many lessons in this for all of us, for you, for all the artists taking place. So I think, towards the end, we probably need to do like a lesson inside the hub on this process as well, to share how it's all come together, because I think that'll be really insightful. Deb, what's the project called? A few people are asking. Has it got a name yet?
Well, we just went with Journey, and I think I'm open to whatever anybody wants to come up with, really. I wanted to try and stay away from things to do with lockdown and COVID, and because I wanted people to feel that inner journey, outer journey, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. So the only word I could come up with, journey. And like I said, I don't own it. We need to work out what we're going to do as a collective and how we go forward with it. So whatever anybody feels inspired with. I mean, we were even looking at, and there were some really funny conversations last night. I'm just laughing at some of the things that were said in the chat. I said we need to be thinking about maybe having like a 3-word phase. And my son said it's actually called alliteration, Mum. So I was schooled last night in what that means. But he said to me, so I said, what 3 words could we use? So we came up with all sorts. And then I won't mention any names, but she knows who she is. She said, blah, blah, blah. Well, we all just burst out laughing because it is funny. But things like create, connect, contribute. So something that is using that phrase, because we're we've been shown that phrase, haven't we, while we've been in lockdown, about staying safe, all of that. So the human psyche is already open to that, and it's already open to remembering. So whatever we pick, I think it's something that we can then use in the marketing to take it forward. But that's me being instinctive with it. I don't know. I don't have a background in it. So it's best for me to hand it over to somebody who does.
Yeah. And do you know what I love about this is, and this is why I always say it's about the journey and connecting with your why to begin with, because for you connected with your why, and that word connection led you to going, do you know what, I'm going to get a group of people together. And this is what I love about taking steps forward and not analysing too much sometimes about, where's this going to go though? How am I going to do it? Who's going to buy from this? And what you're doing is, following this intuition and this connection and what you want, how you want to feel. And it's taken you on a journey to the most amazing collaboration, meeting friends for life.
Yeah.
And also you're kind of rapidly going through the 7 keys as a process of this, as a byproduct, because you're having to think, well, this needs to get out into the world. And that's what the 7 keys is. It's not always about selling. It's how you get it out into the world. It's who it's for. It's the purpose. And then, like you just said, we need some money for this. So then it's, how do we do that? Is it crowdfunding? Will people chip in? But there's ways that you can make it happen. And it's working through those 7 keys and the why that's so important. So again, you're a great example of the 7 keys and how it works.
It's not me though, is it? It's everybody in the group.
I know.
I was just the catalyst at the beginning, and I think people have it's the energy of everybody as the collective.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, one day we'll get everyone on, all 42. Just amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Deb. I'm going to pop on. Oh, hold on 1 second. Actually, some people have just asked a couple of questions. Honey Beach is saying, thank you, Michelle, for the amazing 7 keys. It's great to see it being applied to real life situations and working. And I think that's what I've taken from this week. I think we're going to start doing more sessions like this inside the hub, where we show how the 7 keys are actually coming into a real life example. So I just wondered, before we hop on to anyone else, just going back to your story at the beginning and the way you were before your accident and the way that's changed your mindset and made you really grateful and made you it's giving you this zest for life and this courage to kind of step out and approach people and say, I want to connect with people. I wonder if there was any advice you could give people, or even your former self, to step into that mindset rather than waiting for something to happen. Because a lot of us are guilty of that, we are in that frame of mind until something happens and jolts us into, this life is short and I need to, do what's in my heart. Is there any advice to your former self or anyone listening who's maybe stuck in the ways that you were before, looking back?
I mean, I really did get pushed to the edge. It was a case of, I'd had a conversation with my friend the night before we actually found out what was wrong with me. And I just said to her, I feel so rotten. I just feel like this is it. I'm going to go. And at that point, she said to me, well, what do you want? Do you want to go? Do you want to stay? What do you want? I said, I want to live, but I want to live. I don't want to live a second best life. So if I was to talk to myself prior to the accident, I would say, Deb, what do you really want? What makes your heart sing? And I think I've mentioned this a couple of times in the threads. What makes your heart sing? What makes you want to leap out of bed in the morning? What makes you feel joy inside? And why are you frightened? If it makes you feel happy, why are you frightened? Because only good's going to come out of it. So that night, speaking to my friend and then waking up the next morning and going, oh, so I'm still here. Okay, right, you've got to walk your talk now. So I've got sacred American Indian sacred pass cards. And I'm really into that. I love that culture anyway. And I pulled this card out and it just said, walk your talk. And I thought, okay, so I've got no choice now. I've got to walk my talk. And ironically, the clock was in my leg. And I thought, well, I can't walk my talk. How am I going to walk my talk? I've got this thing with my leg and it's moving rapidly. And what if I'm not? And I thought, right, one step at a time. And that's what the keys do. They give you that step. They actually show you where you need to put your foot.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed that I'm in the hub. I really am, because the universe has given me what I needed before. You know, if I'd had this years ago, perhaps I wouldn't, you know, maybe the universe wouldn't have had to step in and do what it did, but it needed to give me that jolt, and I'm glad it did.
Oh, you're an inspiration, Deb. You really are. And I just think you're right in that it came at the right time for you. It's all meant to happen.
Yeah.
And look where it's leading you now, to this this amazing time in your life where you're fulfilling that connection, you know, that word. Brilliant. I just love it. And because I was talking to Marita about this definition of success, and so many people put it on different things, don't they? But for you, it was coming from that word and that desire to connect. So simple, just that one, just getting in touch with your why, and then the journey is unfolded.
Yeah.
And it can, that's what I love about art. It can just take you anywhere, and there's loads of ways to make, you know, make a living in the monetary sense, but also the lifestyle sense. There's so many opportunities and things that you can do with art, and you've been brave with that and let it take you on that journey, and then it's impacted everyone else, which I just love. Fantastic. Okay, everyone's sending you lovely comments, so you must go and read them afterwards. And I'm sure, are you on social media, Deb? Have you got your own?
Yes, yeah.
So we'll put your links in at the end afterwards, so people can go and follow, and we will share the progress of this project on our Instagram and Facebook. So lovely. Right, okay, I'm going to put you on mute, Deb, and move over to Stacey. Thanks for sharing that. Stacey, we can see you in your studio. Hello, lovely. How are you? You okay?
Hi guys. Hi Michelle.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm just a bit tired. Really was tired this morning. It was about 9:15 and I was going, I need more coffee. I've got to be alert when this live happens. It's just been manic all week with redecorating the house. I've not really done any art whatsoever, but I've had massive art withdrawal symptoms for the first time ever.
And is it making you angry?
It's making me frustrated. I do feel frustrated when I'm not in my studio getting on with what I want to get on with. But no, so for everybody who's watching and don't know who I am, Stacey James. I've been a member of the Hub for 3 this month, actually. This year's gone really quick. It's 3 years this year. So, oh gosh, so much has changed in 3 years. I look back as to where I was back then, and that just seems so far away to where I am now. I was a housewife, mother, you know. I did pet portraits, and I don't want to sound like I knock pet portraits because I did them for 5 years, but I was doing portraits because I thought, well, everybody that, you know, 8% of the population of the UK has a pet. We love animals. You know, I'm going to be able to make at least some kind of a extra bit of cash. It wasn't a living. I can honestly say it wasn't a living. And but I was just on my own. I had no art friends, no art support community. I had art college, and I was supporting dog rescue charities with donations for their auctions and getting commissions that way. But it wasn't, some months I'd go months with nothing, and then I'd get through and it would be a really nice extra bonus. But I wasn't happy. I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And things were niggling in my mind. And it was about 3.5, maybe 4 years ago, I came across the Virtual Art Studio and the other United Art Space, the free groups. And you know, I'd only get some of your notifications, but we're live. I put you one in the background. It sounds awful. I wasn't really listening. You know, like how you buy those tapes to go to sleep with that tell you will not eat chocolate in the morning, and you hope that it imprints on your brain. That's kind of what I was doing with your lives. But I was sat there one day and you said something, and I can't remember what, because it was so long ago. But you said something and I thought, oh, hang on a minute. I really, really connect with that. And then I started listening. And then I started listening to the next one and the next one. And then I was hooked. I couldn't wait to see more. And then you had your intake of memberships. And I was sat there going, like, I literally was like this going, I've only got that amount left in my bank account to join. It's the last of my money, but she makes so much sense and she knows her stuff and she could really help me. But that's the very last of my money. I've got nothing left. That's all I kept doing for a couple of days. But then I just went, no, I'm going to join. If I don't, because I thought, if I don't join with the last of my money, where's that money going to go? And it was going to go on a takeaway. So I thought, no, I'm going to join. And around about the same time as well, because that was in the October I joined. In the January, that's when I decided, the January after I joined, I decided that I was going to commit to myself and I was going to invest in myself and I was going to correct all the things that I was self-doubting. It was that was the mindset. The mindset was starting to change. I'd been telling myself for 40 years that I can't do portraits. I just can't do people. I can do anything else. I could do anything architecturally. I could do realism. I could do abstract. I could do, you name it, watercolors, or not oils, watercolors, acrylics, pencil, color pencil, mixed media, you name it, I could do it. But I had no focus. And I always said, I can't do people. So I signed up for the nearest portrait art class. And I was doing that at the same time. And I also signed up to Slimming World to lose weight because I thought, this is it. I'm changing my mindset. I kept saying, you know, I wish I was thinner. Well, instead of wishing I was thinner, let's get myself thinner. It was a complete mindset switch. And then it wasn't, oh God, it wasn't for a long time after, about 18 months later. Because like the rest of people who join the hub, you go straight to the how. I just want to know how to sell. And then when you look at how to sell and then you do how to sell and then you're still not selling and you go, well, why aren't I selling? This isn't working. And we all have to remind people, you really do have to go back to step one. You can't jump to step 7. Oh, 6, which whatever it is. You have to do them all. So then you're forced. I will say forced, because in my world, I had to force myself to go back and do it properly. And I did it properly the first time, and I found my artistic voice. Well, what I thought was my artistic voice. But I was still in the mindset of trying to guess what people wanted. Well, that's a popular subject. That's a popular way of painting. I'll paint that because I could do anything. And I'll paint it this way, and I'll copy that person, and I'll, you know, oh, everybody's buying cats now, I'll paint a load of cats. And it still wasn't working because I was still trying to get, and I, you know, I was like, oh. So during this time as well, I'd started the Portrait Artist UK group because I'd started that before I joined the hub, but I wanted to join and connect with other British artists because because on Facebook, all the art groups were global. And as your art group is global, but it's not, it doesn't run the same as the other Facebook groups on Facebook. The art Facebook groups that I was trying to connect with were so global that nobody could see your post. You could post a comment saying, well, how do I do this? How do I approach a gallery? And then within minutes, boom, it's gone with 350 other comments, pushed it straight down. So I started a group. So it was UK only, so that we could connect, we could focus a bit smaller. And it stayed around 300 members. And then Portrait Artist of the Year happened. The pandemic happened first, obviously, and I started getting more members because obviously everybody was stuck at home, everybody was turning back to art, and looking for a local group that they could join. But when Portrait Artist of the Year happened, and Deb's, this is a message for you, I've got connections with Sky Arts and the people who run Sky art projects for shows and media things. So I will message you when we go back into the hub with all the details that I've got. So Sky Arts, the director and the production team and all their scouts started joining the portrait group, and unbeknownst to me, because they were starting Portrait Artist of the Week, which was an online Facebook Live that all artists could join and take part in the show. So it wasn't just you had to apply to the show, be on the show and just watch the show. This time, because we were all stuck indoors and couldn't go anywhere, we were all invited to join in. And then I started getting 350 odd artists a week joining the group, and all of a sudden my community exploded to 4,500 members within a couple of weeks. So it felt I had to drop. I was doing embroidery, I was doing crochet, I was running all kinds of things, and then I thought, no, this has exploded. People are so desperate to reconnect with each other through art that I had to focus on the group and really push that. So when I was doing Sky Portrait Artist of the Week's lives, I was painting in the voice I thought I had, which is this style. So it's still following my voice. Yeah. And I'm glad I did it, because I did every single episode in the voice that I thought that I loved. Yeah. And by the end of doing it, I realized this isn't making me happy. I'm not happy. I do these portraits. Yes, they look like the celebrities. Yes, they're quite good, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't happy. So I thought, I've got to change this. So that's when I went back to when you did Make Your Mark, because I did the Make Your Mark 2 years previous. And I went back to the steps that you used in that. And I picked 3 artists. I made my art boards, which I still have. So I get my favorite artists' artwork, and put them around while I'm working.
Yeah.
That one, so you can see. Oh, I can't see because it's so big.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
The faces are broken into sections, and it's very abstract, and a lot of the pictures are black and white. She does do color. Yeah. And she uses the digital way of, tracing over an image to get the image that she's after. Yeah. So this bottom one here is I can't remember the actual Uma Thurman. Yeah. And this is the sketch that she created of Uma Thurman. So I used sketchbook techniques to copy her work. First, I copied her work, and then I'd take what I learned and then started applying it to my own sketches, but not with her work around. So when Portrait Artist of the Week finished, all these 4,000 odd artists are going, well, what are we going to do with the Sundays? Every Sunday morning, we've got nothing to do. So I said, well, all right, then I'll carry it on. We'll do it in our little group, and we'll carry on, and we'll sketch each other. And that's when I started doing, I thought, I'm going to follow my new design into the challenges. And I started drawing our members in abstract ways. This is one of my favorites. This is my absolute favorite one. And we all know this is Les.
Yeah.
That's the first one I ever did of Les. So that's another one of my favourites. And then I was looking at them and I was thinking, oh, I really enjoy these. You know, never in a million years would I thought but I was so happy doing these, so thrilled, and I felt fulfilled when I'd finished doing them for hours. I felt so happy, you know. So you toddle back into your house feeling happy, you know, you're getting on with your family then, and you don't mind that the kids spilt, you know, chocolate all over the place, or
you're like, yeah,
but then yeah, I don't care. But then I got I felt like a fraud for the first time. You know, in the hub we talk about when you start feeling like you're not genuine.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, well, all I've done is copy this woman. So how is this original? So what I then did was got all my sketches out and then got all her sketches out and paintings and put them next to each other. Then I could see, well, actually, no, mine's completely different. Yes, this artist has inspired me and I'm forever grateful. I mean, I am in touch with that artist and I tag her to a lot of my work and I support her as much as what I can, because without her work, I wouldn't be where I am with my work.
Yeah.
So then I progressed from, I'm going to take my favorite. I progressed from doing this is just paper sketching. It takes me about 15 minutes. I went from that to actually painting them onto canvas board.
Amazing.
So it's much bigger.
So
I didn't know if I could.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued. I'm intrigued to know how, like, your process, how you take that photograph and fragment it like that. Is it just like an intuitive thing that you do, or do you look for shapes in the face and move them around? Or
yeah, I immediately look for shapes in the face first. What kind of a shaped head has this person got? Is it you know, does it go at that angle? Does it go at this angle? And I section down the face into three. So I look at the left-hand side first, and then I look at the middle, and then look at the right, and then look at the hair shape and what shape that makes. And that's all it is. This is done in 15 minutes. I don't think too long. I instinctively go straight away on shape. The immediate first shape I go for.
Yeah.
And obviously the eye isn't an exact representation, but it still looks like the person. That's what shocked me the most, is that I can still do this so abstractly, but it still looks like the person.
Awesome.
So then I go from the sketch to the canvas, and again, it's all freehand. There's no grids, no nothing like that. It's just looking at the shapes, each section of the shape of the face.
Yeah.
And I just took off with it, and I didn't. But then I didn't care anymore about whether it would sell. I didn't care anymore as to whether or not anybody's going to like it or who's going to like it.
Yeah.
I just exploded with enthusiasm. Yeah. And then all of a sudden people, you know, you were moving forward going, oh God, yeah, you know, I really like that. That's really, they were more intrigued that I could actually get the likeness, even though it's so abstract. They could still tell who it was. So other members in my group were going, oh yes, that's that member, and I recognize that member. And I've actually had members in the group purchase. You know, I do the quick sketch, but I do the quick sketch for exercise, for fun. But then I get a little message after the live going, I really liked my sketch. Can I buy it? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. But that wasn't my intention. And I think once you let go of that, that's when people come to you. And also, at the same time, when all this finished and I discovered the way I like doing it, you went in depth with the why. And even though I'd done the why before, I'd never gone to the true why. You sit there, a lot of people sit there and go, oh, well, why do I like painting? I just like painting. There isn't. There really is a deeper meaning. And it takes a lot of soul searching to find out why it is you do it. And when I found my why, that's when I put it all out, not all of it, because there's some of it I've had to hold back because my why is very dark.
Yeah. I feel we're all a bit like that.
As a why. Yeah, well, it's the three sections of the face is this side that the people see, the world sees, the side that's the true you, that's behind closed doors, And then the smallest section that's hidden behind those two sections is the you nobody knows. So it's like, yeah, so my section obviously is very dark. Nobody truly knows the deepest parts of me. Nobody truly knows the deepest parts of anybody.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. And that's the explanation I put out on the website. And people just started turning up and contacting me and ordering commissions, and it just exploded. And I was actually quite taken aback. I wasn't expecting it. When I said to you that month, I'm going to sell 2 this month, and I sold 7. I was like, I was really not prepared for that at all. But I always say, and I say this to any of the other artists that I talk to in group, you've got to really dig deep. You've got to really find that true why. You have to let go of trying to guess what everybody wants to put on their wall, or wants to have on that pillow, or wants to see in a gallery. And you have to really just let it come out of yourself and have faith that it works. And Deb, you also mentioned about putting it out there to the world. I completely believed in that before I met Michelle and the hub and all this stuff, because it happened to my husband. He put out to the world that he was like, oh, I'm too old to get a mortgage, I'll never own my own house. And 2 weeks later, he was involved in a hit and run, and he was left in the road for dead. And he got a massive payout, and he was able to buy a house. And I was like, I just said to him, just don't do that anymore. When you put to the world what you want, you've got to be really specific. So every time he says, oh, I wish I could do this, I always turn around next to him and go, yes, without pain, because we don't want anybody else getting hurt to get what you want. But I do honestly believe that. I believe that if you put something out there in the world and you go, you know, this is truly what I'd love to have and love to achieve, I do believe it is, as long as you work at it, it's brought back to you. So I completely believe in all that.
Yeah, and you're testament to that, because during your time in the hub, you have pivoted and gone down a route, like you say, and you've been really finding yourself. But with each thing you've chosen, you've made it work. Like everything that you've turned your hand to has been a success, you know, in some way. And you've generated people, the embroidery, you were getting all these groups and people, your group exploded with that. And then you were, you know, so you followed the 7 keys for everything. But like you said, it was still the why that was missing, because you're great at seeing opportunities, aren't you? You're great at seeing an opportunity in something and jumping on it. And you're so, you know, you're a force of nature. When you grab hold of something, you really go for it. And I wonder, Stacey, if there's any advice for people who, I think I really admire your determination to follow the 7 keys to a T, and recognizing that need to fulfill your own satisfaction making art. And it's hard. Could anyone give advice to you when you were in that phase of not really listening to your heart? What would you say back to yourself now?
I would say stop guess. That's what I'd be saying to myself all the time. Stop trying to guess what they want. You don't know. You're not telepathic. Are you telepathic? No. Right. Well, you can't guess what they want. So you desperately want to be a success. You desperately want to sell. You've got bills to pay. We've all got bills and debts and things that we have to purchase, you know. And my husband has not plugged in my laptop properly. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so I'm so focused on that side of life. Everybody does. We all grow up that way. That's why when we're kids, our parents, or when we're at school, our teachers go, well, you can't do art, it's not going to earn, you know, get a job that's going to pay your bills, pay your debt, or you'll be able to save up and go on holiday. And you are, it's not subconsciously, and people aren't doing it maliciously. They do care for you. They want you to be able to have a life, but not everybody's an artist. So when those non-arty people start giving you opinions of what they think is best for you, oh, I wish to God we could all go la 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 la, la and just not listen, because they haven't got a clue. They are not the people that you should be listening to.
Yeah.
And in the hub, it's nothing but full of people that are going, pick up the brush, email that gallery, do this, do that, you can do it. And that's what carries you straight through.
Yeah.
Because I stopped asking my husband's opinion a long time ago. When I joined the hub, it was like every time I ask my husband, what do you think of this painting? And he'll go, that's not very good. And then when I brought it to the hub, and I'll go, what do you think to this painting? And it would be, not everybody's kissing your backside. It's just that, oh no, that's really great. This is where it could go. These are the people who might be interested in this. And you get help to put it in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I stopped asking people's opinions a long time ago, unless you're an arty person. I do value other artists' opinions. Everybody can just go jump off a bridge. It's like, you ain't got a clue. You don't know what we're talking about. So I'd say don't stop trying to be telepathic and guess what people are going to love. Whatever you make, people are out there are going to love it anyway. You just have to find them. And being in the hub, find them.
Yeah, it
and
does.
And if somebody had said that a long time ago, I think I'd be, a bit further along than what I am now, because now I'm just at the very, very beginnings of everything going, yay, and I can't wait to see where it takes me. I'm no longer consumed or worried about who's going to like it, where it's going to go. I just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your art seems its own way to where it's going to go. And as well, when you join the hub, you may think you're this artist, then you do the steps, then you find out you're not. You're something completely different.
Yeah, we've had so many people join and do that. And do you know what I really like about your journey, Stacey, as well, is that you've never given up. You've been through so many stages through the 7 Keys and trying this artwork and trying this group, and something hasn't felt right. And I've worked with so many people who give up at that point because they just think it's just not working. And you've never given up.
Yeah.
You always kept chipping away at the 7 Keys and being true, and you kept going. And I know that it's been 3 years, but if you think back to a couple of years ago or 18 months ago, and if you'd have given up, you wouldn't be where you are now. And this is what I try to say to people, is as hard as it is, you've got to keep going. And it's like me, setting up United Art Space. It's been a real big uphill mountain to climb. And there's been times where I'm hanging on by my nails thinking, can I still do this? I just don't know. But, when you do keep going, amazing things happen. And now I'm living my dream life. I really am. And I can't even believe it sitting here today, that what I've created, I just cannot believe. And it's like you now, you kept going.
Yeah. I mean, when I first joined the hub, it was the 7 key ingredients, and you had a couple of other projects alongside. But in the time that I've been, I've seen it go from that to social media planning, to approaching galleries, to, it's just took up this. Now, when you go into the hub, there's I don't think there's a section there missing. There's something. It doesn't matter what kind of art you produce, what direction you want to go in. There is something there in the hub that will take you there. And like you say, you don't have to do it all, because some of us enter the hub and we've already gone through certain parts of it, but most of the time the why is missing.
Yeah.
So we've produced the art with skill, and we've sold in a few places, and we think but this
Sorry, it's gone really patchy. We can't hear you
to help
properly.
push you further. So it's universal. It helps everybody, no matter what art producing. It amazes me. So when I first came in, it was basically more or less, if ever I have a glitch, there is going to the hub, and there will be something there to help you get through past that part or where to go next.
Yeah, it's an amazing supportive group, and I just think that when you do put in the work and you keep going, the rewards to be doing something that you really love, and like what Deb said and what you've said, to tap into that thing that lights you up, that makes you feel fulfilled, is the best feeling in the world, isn't it? And that's what we're doing. And my little tagline is find your voice, find your people, because it's all about that, finding your own voice, the one that really fires you up, the one that you sit and pour out your heart, like I do with the hub, and Stacey and Deborah connection, and everyone's got their own thing. And it's like really having the courage to do that, and knowing you can find your people, you can do it. They are out there.
Yeah, they are out there. They are out there. I mean, I when everything exploded was it in August? Yeah, in August, everything just exploded for me. And all of a sudden I was having conversations with other artists, but it wasn't like before. It was at another level. Because once you work hard at it and you really find your true why and your real meanings and the true whys to your art, you start talking to other artists about your why. They start talking to you about their why, and all of a sudden, you suddenly realize you're an artist. This is art. You're talking art, you're living art, you're breathing art, you're feeling art. And it's amazing. It's a really, really, I mean, I have this funny feeling here now that I never had before. And it's there all the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I cannot express how much I could not now function without the hub. I can't imagine it not being in my life. I cannot even dare to think where I would be right now if this never existed.
Do you know what I love?
So yeah. Everything I have now is owed to the hub, the steps, or everything you've put in place, and especially you, Michelle. I know you always say it's the hub and it's the members, but it's not. You are the very beginnings of everything that happens here, and it's all down to you.
Thank you. Don't even make me cry. Do you know what? Yeah. Oh, I was going to say something and it's gone out of my mind, because I'm like, oh, that's lovely. It's just so amazing for me to hear this and know that it has had that impact. And I think, yeah, it is the long game. It really is the long game. And that's why we created the hub, so we can support you along the journey, because it takes time, doesn't it? There was something that I wanted to say and it's completely gone out of my head. So if I remember, I'll come back and say it. But everyone's asking for your link, Stacey. So if you could put your link in the comments. I don't know if you'll have to do that afterwards, whether you can do it now. But yeah, what an amazing.
Yeah, I've got no way of getting into the comments.
Okay, yeah, we'll put all the links into everyone's social media afterwards for sure. Oh yeah, it's really bugging me. There was something else I was going to say and it's gone. But yeah, I'm really grateful for you sharing that story, because I think sometimes it's hard for people to just keep the motivation to keep going. So when we hear stories like yours, it just feeds us to just keep climbing that mountain. So thank you for sharing that, Stacey. I'm going to pop you on mute now and move to Aviva. Let me just unmute Aviva. Hold on. Hello, Aviva. How are you?
Yeah, I'm in my happy place.
Yay.
I can breathe when I start painting. And then it's just a wild journey, because I never know where it's going to take me. But as Stacey was saying, the art takes you. I really feel I'm an intuitive painter, and to be honest, I always regret never having done art after the age of 13. I've always drawn, explored oil pastels as a child and pencil crayons. But I think in a way, I know people are sometimes called naive artists when they are self-trained. But there's definitely the element of not having the pressure of technical skills that have been passed down to you perhaps by tutors. I'm sure there's loads of things that I would have loved to have learned. But I think it's given me the freedom just to explore things myself, which may be more painstaking and take so many more years. But it's brought me to where I am. And obviously, somehow the universe directed me to you a few years ago. And I didn't used to have it on in the background like Stacey, but it was sort of, you were always there. It was like, oh, yeah, look, United Art Space. Oh, there's a video from it. Oh, there's a live. Oh, God, all right, I'm not doing anything at the minute. I'll just listen to it. So dipped in, and then somehow, not because of lockdown, but somehow in, June, July this year, it was like, there's another intake. Let's see what's going on. It was like, desperate to join the hub. Best thing I've ever done. Best thing. And it's just, I mean, people will be like, for money, it's marketing. You have to make a living. It's so not expensive. And it's just that connection that everybody's been talking about. And I've just felt it more and more, even though I've been shy post in the hub. That connection when you talk to other people, you think, God, am I boring them? Do they know what I'm going to? Do they think I'm a bit, woo? And it's not. It's because you're speaking a different. Everybody will have that. Musicians will have it. I'm brought up in a family of musicians and a little bit of art as well. But so everybody has their own language. But when you find like-minded people, when it's creativity and art, whether it's craft, whether it's embroidery or any of that, and people get you, it's just like, hello. This is what my tribe is, as people say, finding your tribe. So I don't know, even though it's a few months that I've been part of the hub, somehow my shyness has disappeared. I didn't think I'd be doing anything like this, but I felt comfortable to just be on camera and painting in the group on the Friday sessions. And that also allows you to, and me to honour my art and actually have that time. And that's thanks to you and everything that everybody praises you about. And Stacey just now, it's just so true. It's just so true. And obviously you were meant to do United Art Space for all of us as well, and for yourself, and so that we can find our truth. And it is what Stacey was saying about the why, and you think you're one kind of artist. I mean, I thought I was whatever, and then suddenly it's like, hang on a minute, I thought I knew my why. I'm still exploring the why.
You've just you've just reminded me what I was going to say earlier with that, actually, that there's so many people that join, or maybe watching now, who aren't a member, that you think you've got it figured out. You think you know your why. You think you know the direction you want to go in. And I've had so many people join saying, this is the art I make, this is what I want to sell. And then about 4 months in, they go, oh gosh, no, this isn't what I want to do. This is not what I want to do at all. And then they go on this journey of self-discovery. And I think that's one of the biggest things that people have said, actually, they've got out of it, is actually finding their true self.
Well, that's why you've given them that opportunity through United Art Space, from whatever it started with this small physical studio, you said years ago. You just allow people to breathe as artists. I think that's how I feel, that nothing is wrong, nothing is ugly looking. There's as you say, everybody has a place in the art world, and I think everybody should be applauded for whatever art they're making, inside the group, outside the group, because it's an expression of themselves, and it's deeply personal. Do the same for any creative person, musician or whatever. But you allow them to have you help nurture them, and everyone in the group does, because you give them that safe space, as people say these days. And yeah, I mean, I'm still in the playing mode. So I thought I'd start a brand new piece today. I've never worked with this kind of shape. And last night, well, I'll do landscape style. I'm obsessed with, probably part of my why, don't know why yet though, water and waves, and the shape in waves. I only discovered acrylic, probably because it's so flipping messy and takes up so much room, about a year ago, 18 months ago, but I love it. But you really have to set aside that time. This is the happiest that I can ever be when I've got paint all over my hands. So even though I do like all the little delicate watercolours as well, because obviously I was thinking with that head that Stacey was saying, what will people want to buy? What will be marketable? Oh, I have to do that. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it's just really woolly and bland, and you have to be true to yourself when you are a true artist, and that's something that you give people the confidence to say in the group. I'm an artist, and I've had people visit the flat during lockdown for certain important things, and come in and they go, oh, do you like Jamaica? Yeah, I'm an artist. And they go, yeah, but what do you do? And it's like, no, I do the art. On the other hand, I've had people come in and say, oh, my dad's an artist, my grandma's an artist, and I'm like, oh, they're including me in that. So and it helps spur you on. So you have to take all the good things that people say. And my work's around just because it's there for me to display it, because why should it just be shut up in a portfolio? But it helps inspire me. And as you said, select and reject, still not watched that video yet, still have to find it. But I can look at things and think, well, actually, I didn't like that bit, but I do like that bit. So you start learning your own, as you said, artistic vocabulary. And certainly, I know I'm not always diligent about sketchbooks. But I know the certain things that I've been that I like. Now, this I was taking round, and I was taking it round to friends and family. I was like, "Do you like my things? Do you like my things?" And they go, "Yeah, well, I like that bit." And I'm like, "Okay, this is not necessarily the feedback as other people have said this morning. If people don't necessarily, if they're not your people." They're not your who, they're not necessarily even going to get it, even if they are an artist.
True.
So I've been a bit obsessed. So it's kind of got really worn down, but I started playing around with this handmade paper that I had, and taking out all the thick fibres and sticking it down with the paint, and then adding in bits of foil, metal foil, because I'm obsessed with metallics as well, as you know. And I liked the texture, the feel. It was much more raised, shall we say, and it's all got rubbed off. So I've been looking at that, sitting at me on one of my art shelves, and I've been thinking, really want to play with that idea. So today's the day. So I'm here with my friends. I'm obsessed with this trial thing that I got from an art company, Liquitex Acrylics, and they sent a whole little trial pack of spray paint and this acrylic ink. Oh my God, I'm in love with it. This is the only one I've got, and it's deep turquoise.
I've never used acrylic ink.
Oh, I can't tell you. I think they come in big dropper bottles, a bit like some of these inks. But I really love this one because I can just shake it out, but I've used quite a lot of it now. So I'm actually bringing together, this was a piece I did in the last session, the last Friday session I was part of, again with the metallic foils. And then there was this one where I was just playing with moving the, I've done that with watercolor, where I move things around till I get the feeling that I like where it's at. So, and then there's this handmade texture and everything. So I'm sort of bringing in together the inks at the minute, and the texture and the metallic, of course, can't forget the metallic.
Every time I've spoken to you, you've always mentioned metallic, so it's important for you.
I don't know why, and I was looking up, like copper is obviously, it's my favorite metal, but obviously I And like all of them, there always has to be a touch in there, like just pressing it into the ink and using the ink itself and the water as the adhesive. So I'm trying to bring in all my favorite things that I've seen in my work, and trying to put it into this piece, which is with a whole new shape, a whole new landscape format, which I've not done, and see what happens. So that's where I'm up to today. But I still look at my watercolors, and every night I think, oh, I'll just do some painting on the couch, and you know, I'll do my flowers, see what happens. We'll see. It's finding your voice, and then hopefully when I understand my why, I'll find my people and give them pleasure. Like all of us just want, I thought, oh, well, it's because I want to make beautiful things and I want to make people happy. And I thought that was my why. I think we're going to share what's inside of us with people and give them some joy, whether it's just pure aesthetic or if it has a deeper meaning for them. And make their environment around them, which obviously at the moment during lockdown is, or certainly was lockdown, our environments around us, if we can help bring some kind of joy or contentment or whatever feeling people want from our art, then brilliant. So I'm rambling now.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And you've actually given me loads of ideas, and because you're right in that, you know, I kind of think we all make art for that. It's like the layers of an onion. I talk about this a lot.
Yes,
you know, and the first layer of an onion for all of us is usually that we want to make art because it's therapeutic, or we want to make art because it helps other people feel happy. And it's kind of like that's the first layer for all of us. And that's what we all say. But if that's what we all said about our art, then we don't stand out. And so to take it deeper, and it doesn't have to be some deep meaning where you're changing lives, or it can be something subtle out of your why that's like related to a memory, or this is what we do inside the hub anyways, help you bring that out, because what happens then is you do connect with your people and you learn more about yourself and how to talk about it. So you're on the right path, Aviva, and it's lovely to see you making and exploring your own language.
We'll see what happens. This could be the wildest piece ever with all the different elements. And it's not contrived. Obviously, it has its own life, and I will go with it and respect it. But we shall just see what happens with you saying choose the things that speak to you, select those. So thank you in advance, whatever happens with this.
Aviva sent me a message earlier, and I just want to say thank you, because there was something in that message that you sent me that I've never really contemplated before. And you said to me that by the 7 keys, helping people bring out their true voice and who they're meant to be, is helping them make art that's then touching other people and being sold to other people, and that art wouldn't have existed. And I never ever contemplated it with you before. So thinking about that sketchbook and the art that you're making, and then it goes into the lives of others. So there's a massive ripple effect happening from our hubs, not just from the members, but everyone who's buying the art as well. So thank you for making me realise that today.
You're welcome. That's making me emotional, because it's that connection that Deb and all of us, whether we've said it or not, that we feel it's about human connection. That's what art's all about, any kind of art. And if that's why when I was a teacher, when I could bring art to the children and just give them that freedom, that we need arts for the soul, because without that, the soul just isn't nurtured. There you go.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like I need to write that down.
I remember what I said. Coffee, that's one of my other loves in life. But I
won't steal it.
Go for it. You can quote what you like, if it makes sense. But just thank you for every video, every one of your I don't know what you call them, but when you have like shine a light on it, your amazing phrases and the phrases that you take from the other hubsters and from other people, and you bring it all together for us. Just yeah, and thank you for Fridays. Are just the best. I never want to leave them. It's always a bit of an anticlimax afterwards. Like, oh, the real world now. Thank you. And thanks to everyone else in the hub. You're all just beautiful people.
Oh, you've got a tear to my eye. Thank you, Aviva. Right, I'm going to pop you on mute, my lovely. It was lovely to talk to you again. I'm going to move over to our lovely Hannah. I think you need to unmute from your end, Hannah, because it's saying that that's it. Wonderful. Hello, Hannah.
Hello.
Lovely to have you here. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. I've enjoyed painting today.
Oh, it's nice to see you in your studio.
Thank you.
Oh, the sound's gone again. The sound keeps going off. We'll see how we get on. So I love your journey because you came into the hub not really knowing where you were going, and also, you know, afraid to post because of being judged and things like that. And so tell us about your journey now, because you've kind of gone through an incredible journey where you're selling paint kits and it's led to workshops. So tell us a little bit about that, Hannah.
Okay, so when I joined the hub, I was at the sort of beginner part of the roadmap, and I was too afraid to post anything. I was pretty much just doing doodles back then and a little bit of painting, and then I've been working quite studiously through the 7 keys, and just soaking up all of the lessons and everything, and just sort of exploring what I want to paint. I'm a bit stuck in the what key, because what I want to paint is so broad, that I've just been doing a little bit of everything, really. But the thing that I am most drawn to, I think, is things like this. And so what I've painted today is another beach.
Yeah.
I really like.
I love the simplicity of it. It's just, yeah. And so yeah, you've been going through the 7 keys, and for you though, it's kind of led to things that you could never have imagined when you first joined, hasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I was really convinced that I could ever make a living from art. It's what I've always wanted to do, probably since I was a toddler. And I've always loved art. But yeah, I struggled a lot with imposter syndrome and lack of self-worth and not really feeling like I was ever going to be good enough. But I've really worked on my mindset. That's been one of the things that has taken me the longest time to work on. And now I call myself an artist. It's my main income now. And this year has been my best year yet. So I'm now selling art kits, I'm doing paint parties, I'm teaching workshops and doing online tutorials. I'm selling my own original artwork, my own greetings cards. Yeah, so yeah, I'm blown away really this year by what I've managed to achieve. So
yeah, despite everything that's happened as well, because I remember you taking part in the January workshop. So every January, well, I say every January, we ran it for the first time last January, the Make 2020 your best year ever, or your best year yet. And you took part in those workshops, and despite everything that's happened this year, you still have made 2020 your best year yet in terms of you know, the direction of your art and where you wanted it to go?
Yeah, and I think that workshop that we did in the hub really helped me to focus. So I've literally implemented everything that you said. So you can see behind on my wall, I put this wall up in January, and I've got the artist roadmap all across the bottom. I've got my year planner, so you can see the roadmap down here. There's my word for the year to focus on, which was freedom. And then I've got up the top here that you can't really see. That's my vision. So like what I want to have, and you can see an island of Majorca because that's where I want to live. So it's just
amazing. Love it.
It's just in front of me every day. So I've implemented everything that you've said, and it's really worked. So.
Yeah, and I like your story because it isn't just about selling artwork, it's about how art can make you a living in all different capacities. Teaching, because the 7 keys, like Stacey said, it applies to anything. So I mean, I've applied it to setting up United Art Space. So it isn't just about selling a piece of artwork, it is how you tap into all the gifts that you have and all the talent that you have, helping you bring that to the surface and bringing that to people and finding your people. And that's what you've started to do. But I just love how I mean, you've had such a big transformation to where you were when you joined to now, and that disbelief that you could ever make it a living. Because I remember someone said something about your work, was it at school, and it really damaged your confidence and your belief in your own abilities as an artist. I remember talking to you just saying, you know, don't focus on that ability, just focus on that joy of it, and just go on the journey. And you've gone on the journey without that voice in your head telling you that you're rubbish. And look what it's opened up for you, Hannah. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
Thank you.
So I just wonder in all of this, if you have any advice to anyone who's feeling the way you were all those years ago, when you just thought, there's no way I can make a living from my art because I'm not talented enough, or I'm not this, I'm not that. What advice could you give your former self all those years ago, or to anyone else who's feeling that way?
Well, first of all, join the hub because that's where I've gained all of this from. I haven't gained it from anywhere else. So, and then just, it doesn't matter what stage you're at, because I was a complete beginner when I joined the hub. So I was nowhere near sort of the point of making it a living, because I wasn't creating art back then. But I joined the hub knowing that that's where I wanted to eventually get to. And so 2 years later, I'm doing it. And I mean, my art still isn't where I want it to be, but it's so much better than it was. And I've got so much more confidence than I ever imagined possible for myself. And I call myself an artist. So it's just taking steps on the journey. It doesn't, everyone has to start from somewhere. So it doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner or if you're already making £100,000 a year from your art. Everyone needs support and a group of people who have got your back, and can help you through all of the ups and downs of your life, because it's a journey together. It's like, it's not just an artist journey, it's a journey, and it's that connection. I think that's really stuck out for me today, it is about connection. So connection of like the golden thread through your work, or connection with other people, and connection with your who. It's all linked, really. So it doesn't matter. I could barely draw anything when I started the hub, and the encouragement that I've got has really helped me progress quickly. So it's not taken 10 years or anything, it's been about 2 years. So yeah, go for it.
Which, yeah, I know some people might sit there and think, oh, I haven't got 2 years, I need to make money now. But when you look at the journey that Hannah's taken, though, if you hadn't, you'd still be feeling that lack of self-confidence, not living the life that you really want to live, feeling unhappy. And by taking these steps, you're kind of flourishing as a person. So it's taken 2 years, but it's a small time to, you know, a time that you've spent to feel that the way you do, isn't it?
And although it's
just the
taken me
best.
2 years, so although it's taken me 2 years to sort of make art my living, it wouldn't have done if I'd not been a beginner at art in the first place. Does that make sense? So if someone's already knows how to make art, then it's not going to take them that long to make it a living, because the 7 keys is like the business plan that helps you actually launch your business.
Yeah. And I think what I've taken massively from what you've just said also is that feeling when you are a beginner or you don't believe in your own abilities, that voice that says, who's going to buy this? How can I ever make a living from this? And it's about having the courage to keep going, because you never know what journey it will take you on. And like for you, it's taken you onto actually selling your pieces, but also workshops and selling paint kits. And, you know, it's just been a great journey of opportunity that you would never have planned a few years ago, because you didn't know those opportunities existed. So that's one thing I would say to anyone watching, is keep an open mind about this.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, and also speaking from myself, you know, I mean, I hadn't made art for a long time, but it led me to United Art Space and setting this up. And again, but it was making art in the first place. It all came from me making art and being in art to create what I've created today. So I could never have anticipated all of this, but it all came from art. So thank you for sharing that, Hannah. And just a massive, massive well done.
Thank you.
And what an inspiration you are. It's incredible to hear your story. I'm going to pop you on mute now and just head over to Les, and then we'll be. Oh, Les is gone. He's still there. I can see a hand. Let me just unmute you, Les. Hold on. You need to unmute yourself, I think, lovely, because it's done from your end. Yeah, there we go. How are you doing, Les?
Can you hear me okay?
We can. Everyone's been in awe watching you draw. There's my little story of the day.
Yeah, it's what I started last. What I said I was going to continue doing.
It looks like it's coming on really well.
So I'm quite happy with, because you remember I asked a question about how to do the jumper.
Can we
I think I've worked that out.
Let me just put it onto the screen. So, oh, whoa, amazing.
Let me see.
Great. So what did you do in the end with the jumper? Because just for context, there's like a really textured pattern jumper, and Les was asking in the hub group last week about, you know, how do I tackle this, because it's very intricate, isn't it? So what did you go with in the end?
I just was sort of like stippling and in the shapes of the folds, and then shade the folds in where it's got darker, and then blend it all in, and then I just used the electric eraser and dab that to make the white areas. So put dark marks, and then blended it all in, and then use the sort of like putty eraser and the electric razor. and it's turning out pretty well. I'm quite
Wonderful.
impressed with
Les,
it.
just tell everyone who's watching a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
And no, it's okay. We just delved,
Oh,
that
yes,
was my
sorry,
fault. We delved
yes.
straight in because we were chatting last week about that piece of art. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your journey into the arts and kind of what you do at the moment.
Well, what do I do at the moment? Not a lot at the moment. I've been with the Hub. In fact, I was the. It's hard to brag about that one, but I was the very first member of the Hub, and I couldn't believe it. That sort of like, what's that? 4? Is that 4 years?
I'm really
4?
embarrassed because I don't know. Because I don't do time. I actually don't. I've got no concept of time because of my dyslexic brain. So I was talking to Marita about this. I said, we really need to find out when we launched it. But yes.
Yes. So I was joined the Hub, but before that I was with a virtual arts studio, and then the United Art Space. Been there forever, I think. But with Sharon and Michelle when they first started out, with just straightforward videos. But I was just in sort of like starting out on Facebook, and I saw this, and I was at the time I was sort of like pretty low, and I was still into sort of like doing artwork, but I was not confident in myself. I was sort of like just calling myself an amateur artist, and sort of like then got into meeting Michelle and Sharon. It then all started to change, and sort of like they built my confidence up, and I started drawing and painting, and then I started on the Hub with the 7 keys, and then found out sort of like why I was painting and what benefits it was to me. I'm still trying to find out my who, because I've only just started finding my voice through the help of another young lady here, Stacey, and which is turning out to be quite good. So I'm fairly confident now, and now, in fact, I'm extremely confident now in my artwork, and I am an artist. And hopefully I'll be even more of an artist soon, because like I said earlier, that I started my BA degree in painting.
Oh my God,
I started that yesterday.
Oh,
yes.
Amazing.
So, yeah. So I mean, I have my own sort of like art club on the first Saturday of each month. In fact, I got one tomorrow. And sort of like just growing full confidence with my art and getting used to lives as well, which is really fantastic.
And through those years,
yes.
you know, you've really dedicated your time to exploring art and materials and your voice and helping others along the way. You've always been so giving with your time, and you've run your own workshops as well, because I remember when we first did those lives years ago, you were saying, you know, I really want to do a workshop, but I'm terrified to do it. And, you know, have you got any advice? I'll never forget that. You know, that was probably 4 years ago now.
Yes.
And so to see the person you are today, where you just, you know, throw out the workshops, and I'm making it sound easy. I'm sure there's more to it than that. But I mean, from your personal point of view, though, in the confidence sense is what I mean, that you're just, you know, I'm going to run a workshop, and you're just doing it. And
yes, I just say, if I'm going to do it, I just do it. Now I'm sort of like, I'm learning, as you know, that I've been doing calligraphy now for several years, but I haven't taken it anywhere. But now I've decided to sort of like possibly do a workshop on it. But I just sort of like need to work it all out, everything else first. And I'm going to do a workshop in calligraphy. So I'm really quite happy about that. And people are being interested in doing it as well.
It is.
Which is good. Yeah. It's a bit more difficult at the moment, obviously, with the whole situation, but it's looking good. It's looking good. But unfortunately, I mean, I was made unemployed through COVID, and so I'm presently unemployed. So finance is a little bit more restricted, but it will get there. And I've also decided, sorry, I'm just full of it. I'm going to start taking commissions on.
Because, I mean, judging by that drawing today, you know, I think you're ready, Les. I think you are. Do you know what? You always touch my heart, Les, because you, like you said, you've been in my world, you know, from the very beginning. I remember when I set up the virtual art studio group. Yeah, I think it was only a few months into me setting up that group where you appeared, and I'll never forget that post that you first posted, actually, because I knew you were going through a really hard time, and it really touched me. And I just thought, how can I help this guy? And I remember replying to you, just saying, you know, take it easy, and here's some free things if you need them. And to share this journey with you, Les, over whether it's 4, 5, 3 years, I don't know what it is. We need to work that out, don't we?
Yes, I'll look it up afterwards because I keep all the emails from when we first started.
Amazing. I'm sure I have it recorded somewhere. But no, just going back to that, to just see the journey and just share it with you has just been a massive, massive pleasure. And just thank you, because you were so supportive when I launched the hub all those years ago, and joined the very first member.
Oh yeah, I was. Yes, yeah. I was a guinea pig for a couple of months, wasn't I? But there's something that amazes me about you, Michelle, which is takes me aback every time, is that you know every single one of your members. It's amazing how you just sort of like say, oh, Debs, it's like a little cog goes off in every one of your members, and you know exactly what they did, what they didn't do, how they do it, where they've gone, where they've not gone. It's amazing. I'm not trying to make you cry. It's just a fact that I've observed about yourself.
I think it's really because the reason that I do this is because of the stories and because of what I hear from you all. And I go in the hub group, and I don't have time to reply to every single post, but I do read everything that's going on, and that by doing that, it helps me kind of come up with new lesson ideas. It helps me come up with my own why, and I think by doing that, the stories stick. So stories stick in our mind, don't they? So I'm really terrible with names, but I do remember stories and journeys. But thank you. I've not known.
Yes, you've definitely got your who in the right place, because you've got about 3,500 who's, or 4,000. I don't know now.
6,000 now.
Oh wow! Wow, there you go. I mean, that's all your who's.
Yeah, I know, but it took me a long time to figure it out. So yeah, it took me a long time to figure it out, and I've had to do a lot of work on the 7 keys. I really have, you know, filling out those worksheets and figuring it all out myself. So but yeah, it takes time, but the rewards are massive. They really are, and it does feel frustrating, and you know, there's been times where I've felt frustrated, and I'm just thinking, I don't know how long I can keep giving and doing this anymore without some security or some reassurance that I'm going in the right direction. And you know, reaching out to anyone now that feels like that, all I would say is just keep going, just keep going. And another point I wanted to just make is that I think sometimes we're scared of being judged by not knowing the answers. So I think there's a lot of people, especially inside the hub, who are working through the 7 keys, and maybe they've been there for a while. I think they feel sometimes some shame around, I still don't know my why, or I still don't know my who, or I still don't know where I'm putting my work. And I've been here so long now, but you know, it's, I don't think it's something where you just tick all the boxes off. It's an ever evolving process. And you know, I'm working through the 7 keys, and I don't have all the 7 keys ticked off, you know, and I made them. I don't have all the answers. I'm working through it, and things change, and I'm changing direction, and you know, so I just think that don't feel ashamed if you don't have it all figured out. Or especially, I think there's some shame sometimes in, I don't know who I am as an artist, and you feel like you need to hold yourself back until you figure it out. But the opposite is true, I would say, is to start taking the steps, because you learn so much from doing and working through the 7 keys and putting yourself out there. So yeah,
I'm still working on them, and I've been there a long while, and every so often I go back to the mindset one, which is, I've recently obviously just visited again with losing work, and then gave myself a kick up the backside and said, no, come on, you can do something about this. And that's when I decided about the course. It's getting hassles with it, but hey, it's working.
Good for you, Les. Good for you. What a bunch of inspiring people we have inside our community. And
you got 6 great people here. I mean, well, 5, sorry, not included. Well, you're a great person as well. Yeah.
I know what you mean. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap up now and just thank you all for being here, because I'm back in 10 minutes interviewing another one of my members, Vivian. So this was our studio session. I'd love to know if anyone watching made any artwork while they were watching today. So
well, yes, I did. Yes.
So as soon as I finish this live video, there's Stacey's we can see in the background. Brilliant. As soon as I finish this live video, you can actually add pictures into the comments. So if anyone watching has created art as they've made today, please put the lovely, I love it. I love it. Well, I love Fridays. I love every day, but Fridays is my making day. So I'm going to unmute you all so we can just say big goodbye. Thank you all so much for taking the time to be here today.
Thank you,
everybody. Nice seeing you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.